Adventurers, the Pyramid of Horus. Now, if you have seen me talk about the Adventurers before, there's actually another game that, here, I'll go get it. Leaving the camera. Look!
Wow.
Can we put the pictures together? Does that work? No.
No, not
okay.
really.
But they look very similar.
Very similar.
Okay, and in fact, they play very similar. The Adventurers the first one was about getting out of a temple alive with treasure. This one is about getting out of a pyramid alive with treasure. Let's take a look at it and see what we think. Well, here's the board in which you're going into a tomb trying to do, I don't know, your Indiana Jones thing. You're here for loot. Each player picks a figure, but wait, what is this? We're not using these. These are the unpainted figures that come with the game. You can buy a pack that has painted figures, which look oh so much nicer. You can put a color base on your figure so you know what color you are to differentiate that from everybody else. That does not matter very much when the figures are painted. It helps quite a bit when the figures are not painted. So you're going to be starting here in the foyer, yay, running into. Here we have this is the rocks where the snakes hide. And then you get out here, this is the sand where the scorpions are. And then we have the alligators. And so you got to be careful. And then there are some mummies that are running around. And these aren't the pleasant mummies who tuck you in at night. These are mummies that are coming to destroy you. And they're walking back and forth here. Now, the goal of this game is to get in with as much treasure and get out. You can leave any time. This isn't the Hotel California. You can get out whenever you want, but there might come a point where you're trapped and you can't. And whoever gets out with the most treasure is the winner. Now, each player is going to pick a character card. That character shows who you are, like this is Duke Nukem, Edgar Rice, and they have a special ability that they can use once per game. These abilities are not anything game-breaking. They let you maybe move an extra spot or not get bit by a scorpion once, etc. But there's different ones, and they're your stereotypical people from these kind of movies. Here we have David Gore. Here we have, your vampire girl. Here you have your U.S. Marine. Here we have, I don't know, somebody from, and look, Rasputin showed up. Go figure. But anyway, each of these people, you're going to take a card and put it underneath them to show how much stuff they're carrying. So if you're carrying between 0 and 3 things, then you're at level 2. If you're carrying from 4 to 6, you're at level 3, etc. If you take wounds, that counts as something you're carrying. So the more wounds you take, the less stuff you can carry. Because if you go over 12, you have to drop things. Now at the beginning of each round, players are going to take 5 different colored dice and they're going to roll them. So here, for example, I rolled 2 4s, a 1, 2, 4, and a 6. Now, if I'm carrying nothing, or up to 3 items, 2s count for me, so I am going to get 4 actions. But my friend, who is carrying 8 things, only 4s and higher, so he will only get 3 actions. And the other guy down in the corner who has 10 items on him and only 5s count, he only has 1 action. So you can see that the more things you carry, the slower you're going to move. Now most of your actions are simply going to be moving. You can move as you want, you can't move diagonally. Or you can stop where you are and search that area. Now when you search each area, there's a deck of cards that goes with that area. So here's the area for the rubble. I turn it over. Sometimes I find useful items that can help me during the course of the game. These will cancel out wounds and such. Sometimes I will find treasure. Like for example, here's a treasure that's a value of 2. But at the same time, sometimes I'll find a snake who will bite me and I have to keep that, and that counts as a wound towards my character. If I search in the sand, the treasure there is a little better because it's farther in. But, look at that. Ooh, these are really nice little treasures. But at the same time, you have to be careful because there's scorpions there who will also bite you. There's also pretty good treasure here in the alligator pool. And again, it's the same thing. Finding different cool, better treasures, but also the alligators can get ya. Now, there are some sure treasures, or to a degree, on the side. Over here you can see 5 sarcophaguses, and over here, these sarcophaguses are 1 through 5. So you can go over here, which incidentally is a safer area from the scorpions and snakes and the alligators, and you can spend an action to open a sarcophagus to see what the point value is of the card inside. Ooh, this one's a 4. Then you can take another action to take it, or you can ignore that one. Then there's over here at the top, there's four more sarcophaguses that are 4s and 5s. Then there's really good, powerful items that belong to one of the gods. You can see this one here has a value of 6. And I can get that one. These two over here are a value of 8. And the one in the back is a value of 10. Now, how do you get these? Let's look at the value of 8. If I decide to take this one, I go over there and I try to grab it. And then I roll all the dice. So I roll the dice, and I'm trying to roll what it says on the card. Here, for example, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1, 2, but I do not have a 3 and 4, so I've failed. If I have extra actions, though, I can re-roll some of the dice. Oh, that didn't work, but I still have 2 more actions, folks. You didn't know I had 4 actions, did you? Aha! I have rolled a 1, 2, 3, 4. I can take this treasure. It's a great treasure because it's worth 8. However, it also hurts me a bit. I will turn the card over, and this shows me that from now on, the black die doesn't count for me. It doesn't matter what the number is rolled on it, it doesn't count. So these treasures carry a curse with them. It's a really nice feature. You can go for them. They're sure things. They're a lot of points. They could win you the game, but they could also lose you the game. So, one player rolls dice. Everyone takes their actions. Running in, grab treasures, whatever. Then, after that happens, all the mummies will move. Oh, mummy! If a mummy moves and runs into you, you roll dice, and for every 4 or higher, all the mummies will move that many spaces. They move, turn around, and they just keep moving back and forth in their column or row. If they run into you, then you have to take one of these mummy cards here, which counts as a wound. Then, players are going to reach into, I guess, the box or wherever you keep them, and they will draw one block randomly. They will look at the bottom of this block. This block has number 14. And we say, wait a minute. These spaces on the board are numbered. Look, it's hard to see right now because of the rocks there. But that's space 14. So, boom! A block lands there. Now, if you happen to be in a spot and boom, a block lands there, you will jump to the side safely. However, you will take a block card. I'm sorry, not one of these. You will take one of these falling block cards, which gives you another wound. And that's okay. I mean, that can survive. But once we get to the point where the blocks seal everybody in, at that point, anyone who's still inside this area is dead. They're sealed in. It doesn't matter how much treasure you got, you have not won. So you got to be careful as you watch the blocks fall. They do fall randomly. They will never fall in this outside area here, but there's mummies there, so, whatever. And that's it. So that's basically the game. Run in, grab treasure, run out. Avoid the falling blocks, avoid the scorpions, avoid the snakes, avoid the alligators, avoid the mummies. Easy, right? Well, it is in the movies anyway. Alright, first is the burning question is it good?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. The fear of always getting bit by a rattlesnake, yes. Alligator,
scorpions,
scorpion, mummies, it's very present and real. Well, getting smashed by a block is hilarious to watch.
That's very fun.
And then that at the end where you're just running before you get trapped in, and it seems like people are always getting trapped in because the greed is great.
Yes.
There's great treasures in there. So I like it a lot.
I do too. I think that the falling block mechanic for, pushing you to get out of the temple, I don't think is as iconic as the rolling ball and the other and the other one. So I think that was a cooler mechanic than the falling blocks. Essentially, it does the same thing, although this one's a little bit more random because you've got, 40, 50 spaces or something like that?
Yeah, and it could land anywhere where the boulder is going to come.
Right. So, they both have the same feel. One, I think, is a little bit cooler than the other in one aspect. I liked all of the different... I liked having the mummies that you had to try to avoid on this one. So, one's better in one way, the other one's better in another.
I have to say that it boggles my mind that they have not made this a modular system.
Yeah.
I would love to put these games together and play them. It would be so rocking.
You could combine the
characters go back and forth.
Yes. The characters go back and forth, but that's about it.
So, if you like the first one, I think you'll like this one. I find them very similar. If I was only going to get one, I'd probably get the first one. Just because people will look at it and you see the boulder rolling down and the bridge. This one is neat too, though. I think either one will make a good gift for a family.
Right. The first one I think will appeal to people who maybe like the Aztec feel a little bit better because that's what that one has. This one has more of an Egyptian pyramid feel to it.
So that one's that one's Indiana Jones. This one's the Mummy.
Right. Yeah, you could say that. So whichever style of action adventure that you like better, it will probably come along beside which one of these you like better. But generally speaking, it's the same game, just a little bit of quirky mechanic differences and the theme difference.
I'll give it, even though I will say that it's not this greatest of games ever, I have so much fun playing these because people get into it, so I'm going to give it 2 exploration thumbs up.
Wow. I'm going to give mine 2 thumbnail dirt encrusted thumbs up.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Check it out.